Get on, guys and girls. So it's a recording kind of day today, and I just thought I'd pop the camera on just to let you know how my setup's going on in here. This is my little space. It's in my bedroom. So I've got my bed there. I've got a little dog there, little Tiz, greyhounds, perfect recording studio dog. So Tony says, because they sleep all day and they don't make a noise. I've got a wall plug. I might try and show you a picture now of the quick construction. It just stops that road noise. I did phone up a window expert chap to try and get the gaps filled in. That'll come at a later point. So that, along with the wall plug, and there'll be no roadside interference. And it's just a bit of Celotex that's in there. Other things I've got going on in here. I've got these panels. Now they're about 6-inch thick, these two panels, and they haven't got rock wool in them. They've got sheep's wool, which is a natural alternative, and I think it was about £100 for the sheep wool that come in a big bundle, and I've managed to make 2 panels out of it. I can also put them into my booth, because I've got my booth in my clothes cupboard, so for vocals and stuff I can really kind of get a real upfront sound with them. What I also managed to do with the surplus sheep's wool that I had was either side of my speakers, got some on the walls as well, one that side, one this side. There we go. So it's a very small room. It's a very boxy and square room, which isn't great, but that's kind of what I've got going on. And then what I can also do when I'm mixing is these gobos, I can push them back so they're facing each speaker. So say they're like facing speaker this way, same the other way. Absorb a lot of the sound coming out of the speakers as well. I've got Room EQ Wizard, which is another one which I'm working on, just to try and EQ the room. On my desk I've got an EQ which is going to go to the speakers, so I'm going to tune the room kind of slightly, just take away any bass frequencies that are being really loud. Also, just one more last thing as well, the gobos are actually made out of an old snooker table. Me and Kerry made a silly purchase buy of a snooker table, one of those real crappy fold up ones and downs, and I just pulled it apart because I was going to sell it on Marketplace, and I was like, do you know what, it'll make some good gobos. So I've actually got that for my gobos, and they're quite light. And the only thing I would say is my room now smells of sheep. So yeah, make of that what you will. But yeah, it does smell of sheep. Latin? Can't think of what the smell is actually called on the sheep's wool, but it's not a bad smell. I just didn't want to be breathing in rock wool. I didn't want any risk of, because you know they're going to be in my room permanent. I didn't want any risk of that. I'd much rather go au naturel and use the old sheep's wool. What I also do is my door is in that direction, so you know, in a small space like this, bass waves, you know, are actually quite big, like, you know, 3 foot. So I'm opening the door when I record, and hopefully some of it goes out there and the microphone picks up less. I'm trying to get a perfect guitar tone. Never going to do it in a space like this, but I can try and do things a little bit better, you know. Another thing as well is I am just a guitarist, so I'm not going to go delving crazy into it, because ultimately I just want to play my guitar and make it sound as good as I can without investing too much time into it, because it could be a right brain ache if I delved in too much. But time to do some recording. Enough waffle. Lovely job. So the song's in A minor, and it's all kind of based around a riff that I got going on, like kind of got it up to speed now. That's the last bit I've got to get. It does like a stab and it goes. Gotta get all that picking down proper, but I will get there, and I will play it a million times. And then once I've played it a million times, I know that that will go whoop, and I'll be able to get it after about a week or so, when I've got time to practice. Because I haven't got that much time to practice these days. But the backing that I've got to get in kind of goes. That kind of thing. That's the kind of song that I got going on. I'm going to hit the record button. Love your job. There you go, guys. Just by magic, we're on to the bass. So the backing track's in. I've tuned up the bass, I think, and we're going to give it a whirl. I've taken the wall plug out because one thing that does happen with that is it gets very hot. So I don't need it for this because we're just in on a DI. So let's give it a whirl. Let's give it a little play through. This is the whole backing. I probably won't get it in a oneer because I've literally just played it through once. Don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm going to wing it. I'm not going to wing it like that. Got it. Attempt 2. Okay, there's one section done, and then I've got to figure out what I'm going to there because it does change. So, is this cheating? I'm not playing it through in a oneer. Oof. Let's keep going with it. Not like that with one. Here we go. Nearly there on that one. So A. And then we're straight into a B now. Gonna have to play that again. Okay, that's a practice run through. And you imagine if I didn't have the wall plug and I had the window open and that was going on outside. Oof. Fun times. Yeah guys, so the backing's in. I'm going to give it a whirl. It's going to be very rough. There's some bits that I haven't writ. So I'm going to have to sit down and just play this back, write some bits down. It's just a rough idea that I had that I'm like, okay, this is where I can run with it. So practice makes perfect, and let's give it a whirl. do something now. Thanks for this. You get the gist. That was so rough. I'm still going to put it out there because it's nice to see the process in it. It never starts off how you want it to, but it does end that way, hopefully. So I've got to keep practicing, and I've got to write some more bits for that. You know, I could wing it with the solo, but I want to be able to pick out some notes that are a bit nicer, because your fingers always tend to do the same thing. Yeah, so I'll get there with that. Lovely job. That was a little day of kind of recording and what happens, and a lot of time passes by. So there's a lot of time that goes into it, and that's why it's not consistent with putting all the songs out all the time, because life gets in the way. But yeah, from me, from Tizzy, who's still sleeping. She is breathing, I promise. It's goodbye. Have a good one, guys and girls.